right, guys, here's what you could do about the Roe decision today. So number one thing people are frustrated about is not just the fact that the Supreme Court is going to take away Roe v. Wade, not just the fact that in the red states now abortion will be illegal it's just in a giant chunk of the country. And obviously it's never illegal for rich people. They'll just go to a different state, they'll go to Paris, and it'll be the right wing who get the abortions first. You all know it, they're all giant hypocrites. This will only affect poor middle class people, etc. But the second thing that people are frustrated about is, we all know for a fact that Democrats are going to do nothing about it. They're going to huff and puff. We'll talk more about it on the main show today. I'll even give you an outline of exactly what's going to happen. It's actually not a bold prediction at all. It's what you all know. They're going to say they're going to do something about it, and they're going to do nothing. Everyone knows that the Democrats always do nothing. Well, here's the interesting point about it today. You can do something about it, which is to elect different Democrats, and today is election day. So I'm telling you this 100% for real, okay? So for example, of course, the Nina Turner elections today in Ohio. If you're in Cleveland, you must vote. And if you vote, you can make all the difference. Why? Why can you make all the difference? And I'm gonna tell you about other candidates too, and in general, because you know that her mainstream opponent, the establishment incumbent, is going to do nothing. That's a fact. She did nothing since she's been in office. They all do nothing. They all say, oh, we kind of vote the right way, but actually, unless our donors tell us otherwise, and they think that's good enough. But every single one of you knows it's not good enough because none of those laws passed. Voting rights didn't pass, and everything is gerrymandered. That's why we're screwed in the next elections, and people don't have the voting rights that they should. They're going to be banned from voting in a lot of places based on nonsense laws passed all across the different states. We don't have $15 minimum wage. These are the bare minimum things that they promise because they never ever fight. But there are actually Democrats who do fight. They're all progressives. In the establishment, they say fighting is bad. You have to be civil. You have to make sure that you kiss a Republican ass. Does it look like that worked for us? No. It was an epic disaster. Now we've lost the right to choose for women across the country. Right-wingers are going to use women's bodies as incubators. It is disgusting, okay? So for God's sake, pick fighters in the Democratic Party. And today's a perfect day in Cleveland. Nina Turner's running. She's the #1 fighter for the Democrats and for our actual policy positions. Look, Morgan Harper's also in Ohio. That's also today. Indiana's also voting today. And I'm going to give you a general rule in a second. But first of all, if you're in Cleveland, you're in Ohio's 11th district, you must vote. And if you send in a fighter like Nina Turner, she's definitely going to make a difference because it's amazing. Look at the Republicans. They fight all the time. Democrats say, isn't that outrageous? But they win all the time. They win because they fight. We lose because we don't fight. Stop picking cowards who are going to do nothing but serve their donors. You must pick progressives who are going to take the fight to the Republicans, to the right wing to protect our rights. So today is the most important day. If Nina Turner wins that primary, it's not just Nina Turner winning. That sends a message to the rest of the Democratic Party. Oh, now our voters don't want civil anymore. They don't want us to surrender to Republicans anymore. They want us to fight for our voters, fight for our principles, fight for our policies. That election is not just about Nina Turner. It's symbolic. And everyone in the media will talk about, oh, it turns out Democratic voters now want fighters. That is exactly right. That is why that Ohio 11th District Cleveland race today is monumental. Go out and vote. But I'm asking for one other thing, and I'm about to do it now, and literally going to call a friend in about 5 minutes who used to live in Cleveland. I'm saying hashtag find somebody in Cleveland, okay? Either find someone living in Cleveland now, but in my case, it was a friend of mine who used to live in Cleveland, and I'm going to ask him, hey, do you have old friends in Cleveland? Get them to vote. Get your family and friends to vote. If you know somebody in Cleveland or you're in Cleveland, don't just vote. Make sure your family and friends are voting. By the way, good news today in Cleveland, it's raining cats and dogs. Why is it important that it's raining in Cleveland? Because normies don't show up to vote if they're slightly bothered, okay? But progressives, we actually care. We're more animated. We actually believe in these policies. We actually want to fight for women. We actually want to fight for higher wages and voting rights. So we bother to go vote, okay? That's our big advantage. And so when you have conditions that aren't perfect, that's to our advantage, to their disadvantage. Okay, so we got a great chance right here, right now, to win in Cleveland. But you got to get your family and friends to vote. You got to find somebody there to vote. Don't forget Morgan Harper. She's also running in Ohio on the Senate side. She's also a really good progressive. And then finally, the blanket rule, guys. Look, at these days, in primaries, not in general elections, don't let the monsters on the right-wing side win in general elections. But in primaries, if you don't know who's in the race, one, of course, I'm begging you to look it up. Okay, you can go to our page, TYT Canvas 2022, but you can go anywhere, just look it up. But even if you don't do that, the blanket rule is vote against Democratic incumbents in primaries. They have proven that they do nothing at all. And they're proud of it. They're intensely proud of how little they do and how there was nothing they could do, et cetera, et cetera. No, there's definitely something you could do. And the way you do it is by electing progressives. Vote against Democratic incumbents as a general rule in primaries, okay? So now if you know you're incumbent and you really like them and you've researched them, or that you know they're progressive, like, you know, Ayanna Pressley or Rashida Tlaib, et cetera, sure, vote for the progressive, of course, right? But as a general rule, most of the Democrats are corporate Democrats, do nothing, vote against them in the primaries. Today's the perfect day. If we win in Cleveland and we win with Nina Turner, it'll make all of the difference. And you'll also, by the way, I mean, this is an extra little layered on top. You'll get millions of dollars in free media about how progressives have won and progressives are right and we need fighters. So let's go win today. And obviously today it's 6 o'clock Eastern, like every day. We've got the main show, The Young Turks, where we're going to have a lot more details about the Roe v. Wade decision and the fallout from it and the Supreme Court acknowledging that it's true, et cetera, et cetera. And then at 8 o'clock, our election coverage starts. So make sure you're checking out the election coverage tonight as well. It is going to be incredibly exciting either way, that is for sure. I love you guys, and I'll see you there.